If you want to start every day and be able to get more done, be more productive, be able to actually make more money, be happier, then this is for you. Because if you're feeling tired or sluggish, or if you really know that you're not actually doing the things that you need to do to achieve what you want to achieve, then making these small changes is one of the best things that I've ever done. I'm going to show you in this episode what my morning routine is and why it is such a dramatic change from me struggling to try and build businesses, now being able to live around the world, have multi-million-dollar businesses, and be able to live a life that I'm actually pretty happy with as well. But I've got to be honest right now, if you've been searching perfect morning routine, this is not going to be one of those episodes that you see so many other people out there. Because I really believe so many people are sharing with you stuff that's only going to make you more fragile, and if anything, actually slow you down to achieving what it is you want. Sorry, but this morning I saw from a millionaire coach his morning routine video, and I had to tell the team to stop everything as I wanted to shoot this to insert it into this episode. Now, this guy was literally talking about his morning routine to what got him to become a millionaire. And his morning routine was literally wake up at 4:30, work until about 7, go to the gym for an hour, come back from the gym and work until then he goes to sleep. Now, there is nothing wrong with what he shared and with what that routine actually is. However, if you have other life responsibilities, if that plan of you just working and working out isn't going to actually suffice for your life, then you're kind of stuck. And this is the problem that I see so much of the content, so much of the noise, so much of the advice that is getting thrown out there, which is why I want to hammer home that it is about prioritization and simplification. Really knowing the few things that is going to actually get you to do what it is that you're going to be able to do and leave everything else out there, which is really what I want to nail home in this episode, because I want to make sure that at the end of the day, you don't have a minute-to-minute perfect routine that you must follow every day for you to be able to get done what it is that you need to get done, because otherwise it falls apart when life comes up. And I've got to be perfectly honest, some of the most productive days are when I wake up, drag myself in front of my computer, still wiping my eyes, and just get done what needs to be able to get done. So you want to be anti-fragile at the end of the day, but you also want to be able to do the things so your brain, body, self are doing it at the best possible standards that you need to be at as well. So there is some nuance, which is why I wanted to be able to say, hey, I understand, I see the other stuff that's out there that can be so confusing, and I want to be able to help you actually get rid of that confusion and be able to get you to create a routine that is going to best serve you. If we're just meeting for the first time, hi, I'm Chris Dufey. I'm a founder, CEO, author, speaker, and father to 4 daughters. And I want to share with you exactly what it is that you need to do to be able to build a business and life that you love. But firstly, this is probably what you're seeing when you search morning routine. You wake up with a spring in your step, listening to birds chirping. You meditate in pure awareness, having no thoughts like a Buddhist monk. You see your reflection and see the body of your dreams. You skip downstairs only to see that you've made millions, and now you sit down to write a gratitude journal of the 101 things that you're most thankful for. The questions that I get in the DMs and from my clients are things such as, what's my work schedule? How am I getting everything done? What's the process of me actually being able to fit everything in together? As to be perfectly honest, we are now a family of 6. My youngest daughter is only 5 weeks old right now. I'm running multiple businesses, and I'm trying to keep my sanity as best as possible as well in the few short 24 hours that both you and I have each and every day. But I've got to be perfectly honest, because when I started to get into the biggest rage of the morning routine, it was actually when we moved from Dubai to Bali. I completely burnt out as a personal trainer in Dubai. We moved to Bali, which was just over 8 years ago now, and I was now a full-time online entrepreneur, a digital nomad, if I wanted to sound a bit douchey as well. But for me, I knew that I needed to be able to have a routine to get me going, because at the end of the day, success is habits, and the habits are the routines and behaviors that we're doing in a constant everyday action. And so for me, I was trying to figure out what's that perfect morning routine. And there were so many people out there trying to tell me exactly what the process looked like. And a lot of the time it ended up being this 1 to 2 hour long process where I felt okay at the end of it. But to be perfectly honest, after a while, I just burnt hours and hours each and every week doing these things. And I wasn't actually doing the stuff that was getting me to be able to build my business, earn more money, and achieve the big things I wanted to be able to accomplish. And that's why I want you to avoid that. One of the biggest problems when something comes up and causes an interruption, and let's be honest, that can be a lot, especially with life and a family. If you become fragile, then it's not going to work for you. And it didn't work for me, and it became a huge pain in the ass. So after much trial and error, this is what I'm doing now. But before I share with you what it is that I actually do, I really want you to be able to pick up one thing that I'm putting down right now. And that is, I want you to just treat it as an experiment starting off. Experiment with what works. Maybe start with something with just for 2 weeks. Something that I'm sharing with you. Just pick one right now. Comment below with what you think that one thing is going to be and experiment it with 2 weeks, and then actually look at it. Are you becoming more productive? Are you getting more done? Are you actually just feeling better? Because if it's not, then stop. Don't do it anymore. And really, the big idea and why we want to be able to have a morning routine in place is so we get our body and our minds working so that we can actually hit the ground running and be the person that we need to be able to be. Because as I said at the start of this episode, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sluggish, if you're not getting the things that you really want to be able to get done, well then, why do you expect for you to be able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve if you're not doing what it is that you need to do? And why being in a routine, why having the right habits is so important is because I really believe that our willpower is just like a battery and it can drain throughout the day. So if you're able to take less decisions throughout the day, if you're able to take those things that are draining your willpower throughout the day, you've actually got more battery, you've got more life, you've got more power to make the right decisions as life throws you curveballs, and you're going to be able to make the right decisions when needed as well. Which is also why sometimes my morning routine completely gets thrown out the window, and what happens is I just wake up, drag myself to my desk and get to work straight away. And I've got to be perfectly honest, sometimes, and it can be a lot of the times, especially when I'm deep into some projects, I literally want to be able to just get to my desk and be able to get at it so I have zero distractions, especially because I'm waking up earlier, getting up before the rest of my family gets up, so I have that complete undistracted time as well, which is why also I think the only reason that works so well is because of the thing that I'm going to share with you at the end of this episode. So let's go through what the actual routine that I'm following right now is. The process is I will wake up and I will tongue scrape. And I know that sounds completely disgusting and you're probably like, what the hell is that? It's an Ayurvedic practice I've picked up actually quite a few years ago, and I do it each and every day. I tongue scrape, and then after that, I will walk downstairs and I'll drink water. The water, if you want to get a little bit specific, is going to have lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and some salt in it as well. And it's usually only about a liter of water that I'll drink, and then after that, I'll quickly just jump straight into the pool. Now, it's really hot in Bali, and it's not like a cold shower, but at least it peps me up a little bit, and so I can get out and be able to move on, because I feel like if I don't either have a cold shower or jump in the pool, that I'm still feeling a little bit sluggish. Now, all in all, those three things are only going to take about 5 minutes for me to be able to get done. Then next, that's when I'll actually sit down and do 20 minutes of meditation. And I am a huge believer that people should have some sort of mindfulness practice. Now, this is going to be a deeper episode where I'll really peel back my beliefs when it comes to the difference between mindfulness and meditation, or even if you want to throw in, dare I say, manifestation stuff. But I think for me, this is a practice that I absolutely love. And honestly, well, to be truthful, my wife knows the difference if I've been skipping meditation for a few days in a row. So for me, I feel much better when I'm actually being able to have this mindfulness practice in place. Now, if you are thinking, what's the type of meditation that I'm doing? I typically rotate or just go between what I'm feeling between 3 different types. A specific Dzogchen meditation that I do. There is also the Sam Harris app that I'm actually a really big fan of and been using for the last couple of years as well, or a mantra-based meditation. Now, after the 20-minute meditation, I pull out my most favorite self-development book the journal. This is where I literally will go through a handful of questions, and this is something I'm going to actually delve into in a future episode for you, because this is so important. This one little practice, only taking about 10 minutes, this journaling process really sets me up for the day and gets me clear. Gets me to set a clear intention and really gets me to be able to move forward really easily. And it only takes about 10 minutes. Then I'll quickly flick over and I'll actually review my day. The day before is where I'll actually write out what is it that I want to get done the next day. And this is where I'll look at it and I'll literally think through all the different things that are going to be coming up for that day. This morning, I knew that I had to prep to be able to shoot videos. I know that I'm going into a meeting straight after this. I know that after that, I'm going to go and train. Then I'm going to go pick up my daughters from school. Then we're going to go to the beach. I know the process of what's going to happen so that at least I know, can it actually all fit in the day, and can I mentally prepare myself to get there as well? Now, all in all, that probably only takes about 35 minutes. And at that time, typically my daughters are downstairs awake, and that's when I have morning quality time with them. That's when I'm going to be able to get them breakfast, get them ready for the day, and then be able to get myself out and to be able to either go for a walk or straight into the office. Typically, I do rather go for a walk before getting into the office, but sometimes I might have an early meeting. I might just be really focused and really wanting to jump back into the work and projects that I'm doing, and I can do my walk later on. And again, this is when it comes to it. Have a little bit of flexibility. Don't be too rigid with it as well, because I really believe if you're trying to be too rigid, life's going to break that, and that's when you become fragile and it's not going to work for you. Now, there's also 3 other things that I'm not doing anymore, but I wanted to share with you that I have done before. One of them was reading. Typically, I have had in my morning routines where I'll have 20, 30, sometimes 40 minutes of reading. At the moment, and because I'm really deep into some work projects and we're about to launch some things, I'm not doing that, and I'm actually prioritizing my work first over that, and I'm reading later on in the day or even in the evening. The second thing that I really love doing, but I'm just not doing right now, is actually some breath work, especially following from Lucas Mack and Awaken Breathwork. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go and follow and use their breathwork practices. These were an absolute game changer for me, and I think, you know what, I probably should be putting that back into my routine. And then the third thing was, like I said before, sometimes going for a walk and really making that a part of the process of me doing it. But at the moment, especially with work and with the projects that are going on right now, I'm just getting straight into it as fast as possible. And I think what some people say is like swallowing the frog first. Not exactly sure about that analogy, but I'm being able to do the 35 minutes of my morning routine, then being able to have some quality time with my 4 daughters, and then being able to get straight into work. Now, what's 10 times more powerful than the morning routine, and something I've been alluring to this entire episode so far? And for me, it's actually a evening reflection and meditation, or an evening routine, or even sometimes I've called a wind down routine. At the end of the day, it's just a really quick 20-minute process that I do at the end of every day that I've got to be perfectly honest, I've been doing since the start of the year, and it has been game changing for me. It has been the thing that has made me so much happier, so much clearer, so much more productive, and I'm just really, I'm astounded, if I could be perfectly honest, with how it's been able to actually change my mindset and get me really clear, because literally finishing off the end of the day, and I'll have this episode for you to go and be able to watch, because I think this is so important for you, especially when combining the two. But if I could be perfectly honest, if there's one thing I was going to have, whether it's a morning or an evening routine, I'd actually choose the evening routine. And I don't want to poo-poo this episode and make it a waste of time, but I think it's more powerful, because when you finish the day and you be able to set yourself up for the next day, you wake up with a rolling start. I feel like I kick my legs out of bed and I'd be able to start the day with so much clarity, and I don't have to make decisions. I don't have to be able to think about certain things, because I can get straight into it as well. So I highly recommend that you go watch that episode. Now, I want to make this really practical for you, because I just don't want you watching my stuff. I don't want you watching anything and just thinking it's just like skipping straight through and going to the next video. Let's make this practical right now. I want you to comment below, what's the one thing that you're going to take from this episode and put in place for a 2-week experiment? What is that one thing going to be? Because I'd love to jump in, I'd love to see that. And any questions that you have at all, I will shoot in upcoming episodes to be able to answer for you as well. So if you've liked this episode, please click like. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't, because it'd be a bummer if you missed out on the upcoming episodes. And I appreciate you for being here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.